I've seen your content, of course. You went viral.
There was this woman that was like, stitch this video and give me a positive love story.
If you're in a healthy relationship with a man, can you stitch this video and talk about it?
Let me give the girls some hope. We never really hear positivity. So I'm like, you know what? Let me tell the girls how I got here.
And some of the feedback was a little, back and
Some
forth.
of the feedback was nasty. I didn't get any negative feedback really from black women.
It was the other people.
Yeah. And black men. Men like to put you on this audition. Are you worthy of this ring?
Ooh.
And they dangle it like,
Oh, yeah.
but if you do this last thing, here it is. His family was trying to get across to him like, you have all this love in who she can be, but is she that person? I had to literally sit with myself and nitpick. What are the things that I need to change? Like, it was even little things like my organization skills, the way that I show up in a room, the way that I speak to other black women. Because it wasn't just about my relationship. It was about who I was as an individual.
person,
Like,
yes.
who am I? Do I like me?
You're listening to the Wealthy Woman Podcast.
Thank you for being on the show, Erica.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
I'm so excited to get into some things.
Girl. No, I wanted you here because I've seen your content, of course. You went viral. Of course. But I wanted to have you here because I feel like there's a certain narrative that's being pushed that doesn't really center you. It just more so centers this idea of just soft life, right? But I feel like there's probably a lot more to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is.
Yeah.
A lot more. And that's why I really appreciated you reaching out and wanting to push more of what is my personal story and not just, girl, what does your man do? Because yes, a lot of the girls want to hear the prayer or they want to know, what did you do? Like, what was the thing? Yeah. And while that is fun and cute to talk about, there is more to a woman than the man that she has,
Exactly. And so that was my thing. I was like, I wanted you to have an opportunity to talk about who you are outside of that, but also just talk about even your relationship from a different standpoint, because I think people are putting it on such a pedestal, but at the same time, you guys are very much real people.
Yes, we are. Very real.
Exactly. And everything is not perfect, or even the women that are sitting here saying that they want what you have, they might realize, actually, that's not for me.
Right. Yes. So I'm excited to get into that. I'm excited to get into that. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So actually, before we even get into that, give us the background on the story that went viral that you posted on TikTok, and just how that all played out.
Okay. So basically, there was this woman that was like, stitch this video and give me a positive love story. Like, we always hear about the negative. We always hear that he cheated and I caught him with my cousin, and we never really hear positivity. So I'm like, you know what? I already center my platform kind of around my relationship and what I do on a day-to-day. So let me tell the girls how I got here. So basically, I went to college in Virginia. That's where my boyfriend and I met. He graduated a year before me. So I was still in Virginia working 2 hotel jobs. Because at that time, I lived by myself. I lived in an apartment for the first time.
Oh, okay. So you did have the opportunity to do that.
I lived alone, guys. I know the girls are like, you gotta, know what it feels like to live alone. I've done all the things. Okay. I've worked. I've lived alone. I've taken care of myself for years. Yeah. However, I always had a fear of like not being able to pay my rent. So I worked 2 jobs for nothing. I didn't really need to do that. But I'm like, I don't ever want to have to ask anybody for anything. Right. Like a lot of us do. Yes. So I just made sure I was good. So I was working 2 jobs, and I used to always FaceTime my man like, babe, my manager pissed me off again today. Like, I used to always complain.
You were one of those.
I was one of those girls. And he was already living his dream. Like, what he moved out here to do, he had an amazing job offer, which I said in the video. He's in tech. That's what he always wanted to do. Yeah. So I'm sitting here unhappy, working these 2 jobs, and I see the potential in me. He sees it in me. Right. So he's just like, clock out. Why are you there? Period. Anytime you come to Dallas to visit me, you never have to lift a finger. Yep. You're not really much of an added expense. I was never a super high maintenance girly. He introduced me to like luxury items and stuff. I was never really that girl. Yeah, I was never that girl.
And so, thank you for clarifying that, because I'm sure that they're thinking that you are one of those girls.
That girl. I never really had luxury items until he's like, babe, let's get you a nice bag.
Period.
Let's get, like, he's that guy. He really
Okay.
is. So
Now I see why you love this man.
you know what I'm saying?
Because that's what I always tell women, not to cut you off, but I always tell women that. I'm always like, if a man comes into your life, he is supposed to be adding.
Yes.
He's supposed to be putting you onto
Exactly.
things, introducing you to new ways of living,
Yes.
expanding your palate even, and allowing you to, like, just grow and blossom as a
Yes.
person, not, like, making you feel small and
Exactly.
anything like that.
He
So
was
that's
an
good.
asset to my life. So yeah, he was just like, he called my job and he was like, go ahead and clock out. Like, do you want today to be your last day at work?
Period.
And I was like, yes, I'm leaving today. So, like 3 days later, there were movers at my apartment. I'm packing up my stuff. Flight was booked one way. Okay. My stuff
Period.
was shipped to Dallas. And ever since then I was here. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was the video.
So what happened after that, though? Like, once you posted that video, did it go viral right away?
It did. So when I posted it, I actually went live like I normally do. I post a video, go live, talk to the girls. And literally so I always have my iPad next to me when I go live. And my iPad was just blowing up. I'm just like, hold on, wait, what? Like, I did not think it was going to do all of that because I always tell women, I grew up with a dad. I grew up seeing a black man be a provider. I grew up seeing a black man protect. So it wasn't like, to me. Like, to me, it was like, this is what he's supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? I just thought it was cute to tell the girls. Like, I didn't think it was going to break the internet. I'm just like, this is cute. Yeah, this is what a man's supposed to do.
Yeah.
But I always say I never had a negative outlook on men or relationships, so I didn't think it was that crazy. So I was so shocked that people were like, oh my gosh,
Right.
are you for real? Did he really do this? And I'm like, yes. What did you do in return? Live and exist and breathe.
That's the part right there. That's the part. No, and I think that's the part that gets to people.
Yeah.
Because most people walk through life not feeling worthy.
Yes.
So every time that they get something or whatever, they feel like there has to be an exchange.
Exactly.
Or even just working, right? Or having abundance. Most people have the belief that you have to work hard in order to get that. And if they
Right.
don't, then they feel weird about it or guilty or whatever. And I think that's the thing. If a man, especially when we think in terms of like a biblical man,
Yes.
that's what he's supposed to do.
Right.
You're like you don't have to show the man and that you deserve it. That's
Right.
being a pick-me-sha, as
It's
the girls
literally
say.
in the Bible, the book of Timothy. I don't know exactly what verse, but a man that is not a provider is worse than an unbeliever. That came from God, okay?
Came
so it's
from God.
blasphemy
Right.
for a man to not want to provide for
Yeah.
his woman and his family. And granted, we are not married. But like
he's
I
already
said,
that's the thing, because these men, they like to say we have to show the traits before we
Right.
can be their wife. They need to show the same traits. If you're
Yes.
saying you want to be somebody's husband one day,
I need to see some
I need
stuff.
to see it.
What are we looking at? Okay, I'm not seeing husband on the table. I need to
Yes.
see husband on the table. So I'm very big on that. I also tell that to my girls on live. Like, men like to put you on this audition so you can be worthy. Are you worthy of this ring? And
Ooh.
they dangle it like,
Oh yeah.
but if you do this last thing, here it is. If you,
Uh-huh.
and it's like, actually, you're cute and cool and all, but are you worthy to even be the man that I wake up to every morning?
Thank you.
Are you worthy
Thank
to
you.
co-parent with, and I literally have a baby with you? Like, are you worthy of that? And not enough women think like that because we're like, at least I got a man. At least I have a man. And it's like, no, is he worthy of even
Is he
having you in
worthy
his
of it?
space? You know what I'm saying? So I get that mindset from my dad. And my mom as well, because
Yeah.
she's a very worthy woman as well. But he always taught me, it's like, you don't have to have a man. He just needs to be an asset. If you choose to have a man, he has to be an asset to your life. you
Yeah.
know?
No, and I think that's why I love that you always talk about that, because it's so true. Like, that's the thing. I think it's not just the women that don't have dads. It's also the women that do have dads that didn't have a dad like that,
Right.
That don't see this as normal, or that, you know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
for you, you're like, well, he's supposed to act like that.
Yeah.
But that's why, another reason why I was like excited to have you on the show, because even myself, I'm having to retrain the way that I see men so that I can experience a different reality with men
Exactly.
as well.
Exactly. I love that epiphany.
Yeah.
And it's so good that you are self-aware enough to know that you have to kind of like recalibrate your mind, because I have so many conversations with Black women, and I don't want to make it a race thing, but this is our experience.
A lot of Black women do not have positive male figures in their lives. Unfortunately, it's a reality.
Right. And sometimes it's hard for us to have that self-awareness to say, I may view Black men in a negative light. Yeah. And that's probably why I'm not having the most success in dating, because he can say the best thing in the world and I'm still looking at him like,
yeah, skeptical.
Okay, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And he may be a really genuine person. So, yeah, I think that's a huge thing, and it's good that you are like so self-aware about that.
Yeah, because that's with anything in your life. Everything starts with your beliefs. Yes. And so our brain is always going to look for evidence to reaffirm whatever we already believe. So if I just simply change the belief, my reality will probably start changing too, because I will have a bias towards whatever I believe, and I'll start seeing more of that. Yep. So even seeing stories like yours helps tremendously, so that I can start seeing like, oh, it is possible. Yeah. You know? But I think a lot of the women that were looking at your video, a lot of them were triggered. Yes. And some of the feedback was a little, back and forth. Some of the
feedback was nasty.
Yeah. Yeah. And so a lot of them were thinking like, one, like, oh, it's not even worth all that. Like, like the lifestyle, like saying like what you're getting from this relationship, like they would never want that. And like just trying to put negative beliefs around it. Like maybe it's not all as cracked up to be.
Right.
And all of
it
that.
has to be something. Is he cheating? Is he?
Yeah. Like you're putting up with stuff.
And I think like that's literally what we were just talking about. Like you're triggered because of your outlook on men in relationships. You have a negative outlook on relationships, that it has to be something wrong. And I'm not saying that I have a perfect relationship. We argue like the regular couple. We get into it like the regular couple. Yeah. We had things to work on like the regular couple. However, this is the most fulfilling relationship I've ever had in my life. And I know that this man is my husband. I just know. And at some point, God willing, every woman will have that same feeling. It's just a feeling that you get, like, this is my husband. This is it. Yeah. It's a feeling. I'm telling you, girl. Like, just hold out. Yeah. The feeling will come. Like, for real. For real.
No, I love that. So would you, with the backlash and everything, did it make you sit and reflect, like, on if it was worth it to... No? Oh.
Not at all.
So you would recommend this? You would totally recommend this life? The soft life,
It's not that I recommend it or don't. I promote for women to do whatever you feel. If you are the type of woman that wants to sit and be taken care of and be a homemaker and take care of your children, beautiful. If you want to be a woman that works your 9 to 5 but still comes home and make dinner for your man, beautiful. Yeah. If you want to stay home and run businesses and do a cute little podcast,
period,
then do
that.
There is no, like, I am for women doing whatever they want to do, and I just wish that people had that same mindset when it comes to me and my story. I've gotten so much judgment, like, they're not gonna last. What if he leaves her? Da da da. Like,
that's so rude.
It's like, I've gotten the craziest things, but I will say, and I will give credit to us as Black women. Yeah. I didn't get any negative feedback really from Black women.
Really?
No. Especially in our age group, I will say.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm actually surprised to hear that. So,
I love
so it was the other people.
Yeah. And Black men. And I made a whole video so if you...
No, see.
I did a whole video reading them for filth.
No, the Black men, it's very interesting. They love to get triggered when they see a man showing up the way that they're supposed to.
Exactly.
And it's almost like they are getting triggered that the woman is getting treated well.
Exactly.
And then they feel the need to like make think pieces on it. Yes. And it's really interesting. Like, why are you in women's business?
Yes. I've gotten so many think pieces. My mom has been scrolling on YouTube and it's like, is this my daughter's picture? It's literally a Black man, a whole 30-minute video.
Talking about you?
Yes. And it's perplexing. However, like you said, they are just triggered. I like to say this. Please mind your tax bracket. Ooh. If you are not able to do what my man is doing for me, for the woman that you love and see yourself being with, the woman that is bearing your children, popping out kids like popcorn, then you have to mind your tax bracket and mind your business. Get another job, clock in, rack on your funds, and maybe you'll be in the same boat. Okay, that's all I have to say. And I made a very nice long video for the guys on my TikTok, if you guys care to look. But I don't really go back and forth with that sentiment because it makes no sense to me.
Because why would you go back and forth with foolishness?
Like, foolishness.
It's a waste of your time.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy.
Wouldn't you want that treatment for your daughter? Wouldn't you want that treatment for your mom?
I think they want the treatment for themselves.
Ugh.
Like, that's
You just said something.
Yeah, because every time I've dealt with a man like that, when I have ended up getting into a relationship with them and I didn't realize that they were like that until later, normally they were in competition with me. So they hate seeing someone get the things that they have to work extremely hard for, easy, or like, they're envious.
My God, today. She just ate y'all up with that one line.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because also too, it's always those men that are scared that if they get money, a woman's going to come and take it from them. When, sweetie, you don't even worry about it.
Oh my
Until
gosh.
you get there, that's not even a worry for
I
you.
literally said that. It was a guy that was saying like, all y'all do is use men for money. A lot of y'all don't even have the material.
Thank you. So how would you know?
This is not for you.
This is not for
you. Are not the target audience. Like,
I'm sure no one's using them because they don't have nothing to get used.
You don't have it, babe. Like, it's fine. Like, trust me, you're
Totally
clear.
fine.
You're clear of it.
Yes, and actually, that's how I know that you are a man that's not there yet. Because typically, a man that is at that space where they have something that someone could come take from them, they actually see it as they take on more confidence because they realize they actually have something to provide. They have value to offer.
Exactly.
And they can show up a
real
certain
man
way.
would like to feel needed.
Exactly.
There are times when I'm like, babe, I want to start this. I want to do this. What do you need? A man wants to feel needed.
He wants to problem solve.
A little boy is like, she's always asking for something. It's always...
Yeah. The only reason you get mad is because you know you can't do nothing.
You just don't have it.
You don't have it.
And it's fine. Just go get it.
Yeah.
Before you date.
Ooh. Ooh.
Let's not date if you don't have it. Okay.
That's the part right there. Stop wasting women's time.
Yes.
Girl, these men, that's the thing. They will waste your time if you let them.
Child.
Learn when to leave.
Oh, girl, we can go down a rabbit hole with that one.
Because also, and I'll just say this, because I just dated someone like this that acted like he was the type of man you have, and come to find out he wasn't.
Not a fraud.
A fraud. And so oftentimes, a woman, when they see that, and that's the thing, he had all the things. He just didn't show up the way your man shows up. Right? So oftentimes a woman will see that a man has certain things and that he could be the man that you're, like the type of man that you're with. But they're like, why isn't he doing the things for me? Am I not doing enough? And they turn into auditioning for the man. Right? But that's what that type of man wants. They want you to audition for it because they feel like they're the prize. And they'll dangle stuff in front of you until you start auditioning.
They want you to do acrobatics, fly on the chandeliers,
all the things.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
All of it. Okay? So the moment I saw that, I said, oh no, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
I'm out. Yeah, because I won't be auditioning for anything.
No, thank you.
Like, what are we
You're not
talking
that
about?
cute. Please.
Please. I'm not even going to go there. Anyway. Let me shut it up. You look dusty. Your hair uneven.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. No, but yeah, okay. So thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of women were just everyone was running with their own narrative with that, you know, and like you said, they're making think pieces and stuff, and it's a lot. It's a lot.
Is.
But your man, he ultimately did this for you so that you could transition into work that makes you happier.
Yes.
Right? So do you feel like he gave you the platform? All you needed was a platform, right?
So
he gave
I need
it
the
to you.
materials.
Exactly.
And the time. And that's what he gave me. I think because in the video I was like, he didn't want me to cook, he didn't need me to clean and this and that. I didn't say I didn't do those things. It just wasn't a requirement from out of him. He wasn't like, yes, this is what you need to do. You need to cook, clean, make sure I have this, make sure I have that. He was just like, you need to take this time to figure out, what are you doing? Like, who do you want to be? What do you want to be? What are you passionate about? And if you're not passionate about anything, say that. But don't come to me like, babe, I want to do this, I want to do that. and you're not going all the way. So that's what his biggest thing was. It's like, I want you to do exactly what it is you want to do with yourself, but be locked in.
Yeah.
Like,
so
be locked in.
did you lock in?
Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Let's talk about it. The first year of me not having to work or anything, I was not locked in.
Okay.
I had
Love
just
the honesty.
graduated. Yeah, I was not locked in at all. I had just graduated. I was a double major. I just got finished working 2 jobs. So no, I was not locked in. I was relaxed. Okay, my feet were kicked up. And that started to frustrate him. Like, he was just like, I've given you the things. Why are you not using the things?
Right.
Like, come on, like, what the heck? And it took for me to kind of not like who I was.
Oh.
Yeah, like, I felt icky.
What was that?
Who I
What was that
was.
epiphany that made you have that
The
moment?
epiphany was people questioning him, like, why her?
Oh.
Yes, yeah. Is that too much tea, or can we get into the tea?
No, let's get into it. Let's get into it. So they were in his ear being like,
Yes, and mind you,
why
my
are you with
boyfriend is.
him?
You cannot sway his mindset at all.
Yeah.
He is steadfast in whatever he believes.
I
He's
love a
like,
man like that.
He's like, no, she's this, she's
Yeah.
that, she has a potential to be this. Like, but I wasn't doing those things. So people around him will be like, you have all this faith in her, but she's not showing you what it is that she can do, quote
Facts.
unquote.
Yeah.
She's not showing it.
Yeah.
So when you hear the noise, and it's not that you want to listen to these people, but you kind of have to be like, okay, if everybody's saying it,
Yeah. Is there some truth?
let me kind of look in the mirror. And once I did look in the mirror, I hate what I saw.
Ooh.
Like, I really did.
Oh my God.
I felt like I was lazy.
Okay.
I didn't feel like I was using him because, like I said, I never was
Yeah.
materialistic.
He told you he wanted to do it for you.
Okay. I just
Yeah.
was like, I'm just chilling. Like, I literally was just there.
Yeah.
But I just felt like I was wasting time. I felt like I
Yeah.
was ungrateful,
Oh.
even to like God. Like, I felt like it was a slap in the face to God, because it's just like, how dare you? I've given you the talent, I've given you the platform, I've given you the material, and
Yeah.
you're still doing nothing. That's a
Right.
slap in the face.
Right.
So yeah, I literally hated that for myself. Like, I really did. I felt just like, ew. I really, really, really did. To the point where I didn't even want to show my face to like his friends' events and stuff, because I knew like,
that they were talking about
yes,
you behind your back.
because
Yeah.
me and my boyfriend like this.
Yeah. So he's gonna tell
He's
you.
gonna tell me the tea.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm just like, ugh, I don't want to be. And then a lot of his friends, their women are doctors,
Oh,
this, that,
okay,
yeah. So
now
the
I
girls
see.
are doing it, and I'm just like, and mind you, my boyfriend is like top dog.
Okay.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
top dog got a girlfriend that's doing what? Nothing. Nothing.
No, but I like how that didn't
know?
sway his decision to continue
Exactly.
being with you. Mm-hmm. And I think, but I also understand his frustration and being like, you
Yes.
have so much potential.
Yes.
But one thing I've learned, which I always tell people, is when you get with someone, you have to realize that there's a possibility that they will not actually evolve into their full potential.
Boop. And that is what his family tried to get across to him.
Because
Like,
you have to be okay with that,
yes.
ultimately.
His family was trying to get across to him, and I'm gonna flip this after I say this. His family was trying to get across to him, like, you have all this love in who she can be, but is she that person? And he just wasn't hearing it, because my boyfriend and I, we went to college together, so he knows me. He's like, no, she can speak, she does this, she does that. And they're like, but she's not showing that. However, I do think that it was too premature to judge.
Okay.
I was so freaking young.
Yeah, that is a huge factor.
Like,
You were
let's
young.
be real. Like, for
Yeah.
real. Let's really be real. Okay?
Yeah.
What were the girls doing at 22? Like, I was...
Because I was messed.
Exactly. I was so young.
Yeah.
I didn't do the work for myself. I didn't do any self-work. I didn't really know who I was. So imagine you not knowing who you are, and now you're cohabitating with a man. That is a recipe for disaster. So the
Yeah.
fact that we are even still together,
Yeah, that's huge. I'm sure.
because it was such like a
But I'm sure your relationship is so strong.
Oh my gosh. We can have a
that.
conversation about anything.
That's good.
Like literally anything, because we've had those tough conversations in the beginning.
That's the key right there.
That is
because
the
I know a
key.
lot of couples that seem like they have all the things, but they don't know how to have the hard
Exactly.
conversations. Literally, a hard conversation can tear them apart.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we are not that way. Literally the other night, he's like, so he's investing in my businesses now.
Okay.
So
period.
he's like, babe, because I asked him for another
Some more money.
couple $1,000.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, babe, if I give you that much money, I need a business plan and a contract from out of you.
Come on, contract.
And email it to me. And
Why
be
you sound like my
formal.
dad? My dad used to do stuff like that with
Just
me.
extra.
A contract.
Just extra. So he's like, if I'm giving you that much money, I need to see that you are dead serious. So we have those like conversations about finances when we get married. How do you want to raise our kids? Are we going to discipline them with spankings? Are we going to just talk? Are we going to gentle parent? Are we going to take them to church?
Yeah.
We have tough conversations now for a relationship of ease later.
I love that.
So now we're literally coasting and just living, like literally.
So how has that played a part in your own personal development?
The tough conversations.
Yeah. Or just you, the combination between the tough conversations, him still believing in you, as well as you having the realization that you didn't like what you were seeing.
Yeah.
Like, how did that help you evolve into this version of you?
I had to literally sit with myself and nitpick. What are the things that I need to change? One, like it was even little things like my
Yeah.
organization skills,
Ooh.
the way that I show up in a room, the way that I speak to
I
other
need to
black
work on
women.
that.
Like it was so much that I had to like put on a list. I would like to be nicer to other women. I would like to this, like, because it wasn't just about my relationship. It was about who I was as an individual.
person.
Like,
Yes,
who am I?
Yes.
Do I like me?
Right.
Like, if I sat down with another woman, would she even think I'm cool and cute and funny? Like,
yes. No, and I
that's
even had to do
important.
that because
Yes.
that's something with me. Like, I can be so much in my own little world sometimes, and I don't even realize how I'm coming across to other
Exactly.
people. But that also communicates to everyone else my
Exactly.
character, you know, and who I am as a person. So I'm like, no, let me be more cognizant of that. And
Exactly.
show up a certain way and go out of my way to be friendly to people. Like,
Yes.
and to speak to people a certain way,
Yes.
make them feel seen, and like, because all of that are those are transferable soft skills,
Yes.
you know? And so a lot of people don't have those skills, and they don't even take the time to recognize that they don't have them. They
Yeah.
just be like, that's just me.
I can't stand a that's just me adult.
Woo! Say that again.
An adult that is not self-aware is the scariest thing in the world.
So scary.
You are maneuvering around life like there is nobody else there, and that is scary.
Yes.
So literally throughout that period of my life, I literally was like, okay, who the freak am I? Like,
Right.
how do I benefit another person? How do I benefit this relationship? Am I an
Yes.
asset or a liability? Like, what am I doing?
What am I doing?
So I literally took, I'm going to say, a full year
Okay.
of, and I'm not saying my self-development stopped after that year, but I took a full year of self-reflection and just being like, okay, his so-and-so may not like me, but would it be something that I'm doing? Like, let me kind of, and I took a full year, and literally when I turned 25, which was last year, it was like a bling.
Light bulb, yeah.
Yeah. Everything shifted.
Yeah, that's normally when
Like,
it
it's
happens.
crazy.
The first light bulb happens then.
Yeah.
And then there's another one that happens in your late 20s.
Yes.
Yes.
I feel that. But at 25, it was
Yeah.
like something clicked.
Yep.
That's when I, and to transition to your latter point of your question, that's when I had the epiphany of, this man is so patient. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I would have been left me. Like, you are so patient.
Yeah.
Oh my freaking
It's a
goodness.
good man, Savannah.
Jesus. Like, because I can't even say that I would still be there
Yeah.
if it were the other way around. So that's when it clicked, like, yes, I have to be a better person. Now that I'm a better person for me,
Yeah.
I would like to show up better in this relationship. So let me figure out how I can do that.
Yeah.
So now I feel like I'm more fulfilling as a partner.
I love
If that makes sense.
I love that.
So,
yeah.
yeah.
And that's so mature of you to even take the time to, like, because most people, when somebody gives them criticism, the first thing they do is get offended.
Yeah.
Right? And not to say you didn't get offended, but it's like they won't even consider it because they're offended.
Yeah.
Even if it's hard to hear, even if you think they're being a hater, so what? If everybody got the same opinion on you,
you kind of gotta be like,
you gotta sit back and be like, what's going on?
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, sometimes the people that don't really care about you can see you the clearest.
Mm-hmm.
The people that love you, they have a skewed perspective a little bit. And so sometimes, even if it is a hater, there might be a little truth underneath that hate, you know?
Yeah.
So that's huge. That's very mature of you, because a lot of people that, you know, are at that age, you know, to even do that at that age, they wouldn't have done it until they, you know, were older. And that's how you get those, that's just me adults, you know?
Right.
But yeah, I think that's huge. And I think a lot, like I said, when you get into your late 20s, because right now I'm 28. So there's a new light bulb that's going off for me, but I think that it's a easier transition for me because at that age I had the light bulb too,
right? And
I took the time to go on and do that work. It was like as I was transitioning from 25 to 26, that's So I was like right there, and I was like, something ain't right. Let me fix myself.
Something just happened.
Something right. But now at this age, now that like more stuff is coming to the surface, I can navigate it better, and it's not as hard because I've already learned how to deal with myself.
Yes.
And gather myself. You know, I'm not waiting for somebody else to do it. I'm
1000%.
like, let me go on and do it. But you spoke about how your man just gave you some extra money for your business. So tell us about that business.
Okay. So there is actually a few things that I'm launching.
Come on, a few.
Yeah. Look, when I got myself together, I said I cannot be that girl anymore. Like, I have to literally just be all I can be, like literally. So the first thing I'm dropping is a luxury loungewear line, which I'm so excited about. I feel like it's so like true to who I am.
Yes.
Nothing that I'm doing is like off brand. Like, it's not.
I love that.
Nothing is a money grab. I could be sitting at home twiddling my thumbs like how I was doing before. So this is just me literally expressing my passion. Like, I'm so passionate about this. So a luxury loungewear brand for the women of all walks of life. I want, and I know we've kind of made it a trend on social media, living a soft life, but I really want women to romanticize whatever life they live. You can be a nurse, but when you come home, draw yourself a bath, put you on your loungewear. I'm not going to say what it's called yet, but
okay.
I really, really, really just want all women to feel like they are in a certain space where they can celebrate their life. Like, you can feel like, okay, I may not have all the money. I may not be in a penthouse, but I could pay my rent on time. I got a car.
Period.
I got a job. Like, you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So I want women to feel good, confident, beautiful in my stuff. The other thing that I'm dropping is a 30-day workbook for building your dream life.
Oh, I love it.
And it really just aligns with what we just talked about. My journey on kind of building my dream life brick by brick.
Yeah.
Because while I did have the soft life and I was able to stay home and this and that, there was a point in time where I did have to work. I did have to do this. I did have to do that. And I got myself out of that situation. And I think that with discipline, with a number of other things that's in the book, anybody can live a certain life. Like, you really could.
You can.
Like, you really, really, really could.
Yes.
I know it may seem so far-fetched now, like looking at women living a certain life. You're like, oh my gosh, like, how did she get there? It seems so far-fetched.
Yes.
But with the work put in, you can literally do whatever. And the last thing I'm dropping is a guide for elevating your dating experience.
I know the girls are going to eat that up.
And it's going to be tea.
Okay.
It's going to be tea. I'm still pondering on if I want it to be like workbook version or like novel version.
Yeah.
But I do want women to be able to journal say if you do a date, I want you to journal how that date felt. You know, I think I want it to be more interactive, not to give too much, but that's what I'm working on. And it's all just on brands. It's all what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about Black women getting what we deserve at the end of the day. And I'm going to say that on every platform that I'm on. We have been getting the short end of the stick.
Absolutely.
For
the longest time.
When time began.
Yes.
So it is time for us to get our stuff. Get your stuff.
Period.
Okay, somebody got your stuff. Go get it.
Somebody got it.
Go get it. So that's what I'm dropping soon.
I
Very
love
soon.
that. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. This is going to be really good. I know the girls are going to eat it up. Let's go back to the loungewear really quick.
Okay.
Because the books and stuff like that, that is a whole process. Absolutely. I know it's not easy to get all of that, together. But I know a lot of women want to start businesses, like product businesses, and it's like a lot to figure out. And that was something I used to teach, so I know how hard it can be to start a product business.
My gosh.
So I mean, I think when people hear like, "Oh, your boyfriend's funding it" or whatever, they think like, "Oh, okay, well then it's
I'm
just
not doing
easy."
anything.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of work that goes in that. So how did you go about figuring it all out? Like, did you get a mentor, or were you just like researching?
Okay, so when I first came up with the idea, I'm going to be so honest with you. Okay, so somebody commented on my page and was like, "You're always in like the really cute pajamas and robes. Like, you should do that." And I'm like, okay, let me go on AliExpress and just find some robes.
Not AliExpress.
Let me just go find some robes in bulk. Like,
no, that's what I was. No,
that's
literally, because everyone said that to me. I used to make videos in robes with like the fuzzy things, and everyone was like, "Oh, we want robes," and I was like, "Okay, let me go
on AliExpress and find the girls some robes. I'm gonna give the girls what they want."
Yeah,
but as I started, like my wheels were turning, and I'm like, I have so many more ideas than just a freaking robe.
Right.
Like that I can get, cheaply made. It's not even real silk. Like I really want it to be quality. So the process, yes, it sucks. Okay. My first steps of the process, I was Googling manufacturers in Dallas and this and that, but I didn't know what the heck I was looking at. I didn't know what manufacturer was better than the other.
Right.
I'm just calling around. I have a friend that has her own clothing line. She lives in Atlanta. And she was like, yeah, for sure, get a manufacturer that has everything in-house, meaning fabric, tags, zippers, this and that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we do not have that in Dallas. So I'm just like, now I'm set back on my process again. So it was so many steps up, steps back, steps up, steps back. But the learning experience is amazing. I'm getting stressed out even thinking about it and talking about it right now.
Don't get stressed.
But the process is actually so beautiful because I've never had to work like so hard for anything, if that makes sense.
That's what people,
when
you get into entrepreneurship, I think people think it's going to be like this liberating experience, and it actually teaches you more about yourself.
Yes.
And it's like the biggest uphill battle you'll ever have to do, because it's like
I was afraid of hard work.
Yeah, but also you're committing to yourself.
Yes.
This is not about somebody else. This is you versus you at this moment.
Yes, and me is fighting. me, we going at it right now, okay? Because there's days where I'm like, I'm gonna have a mental health day, and then the second version of me is like, girl, no, you can't afford a mental health day. Get up and call your manufacturers, check on your samples. So I actually didn't have any mentorship or anything like that. I figured everything out on my own. However, I went to a brand event in March, April. And I met a woman. This is why it's so important to go to these things and be more extroverted.
Yes.
I met a woman. She came up to me and was like, "Oh my gosh, you're so beautiful." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, so are you?" And we just started talking. She told me what she did for a living. She's a fashion designer for a store in Nordstrom.
Oh.
Yes. So I'm like picking her brain. And honestly, I was like, yeah, I'm starting a loungewear line and I need help. Like, you cannot be afraid to ask people questions, especially if she showed me that she's a nice woman anyway. I'm like, yeah, could you please help me? So we exchanged information. That lady has been giving me some of the best, most useful advice. I don't know where I would be if she did not give me. I would probably be somewhere getting my money taken by these manufacturers. She's telling me all the lingo, all the things.
That's huge. Yeah.
For free. Like, it's crazy. So she's telling me what fabric stores to get quality fabric from, real silk, 100% this. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, thank you so much. So that's gotten me a little bit farther in the process. But it's just, the investment part of it is like the least of it all. Like,
and I know that's the hurdle for a lot of people where they're like, I can't even start because I don't have the money. But it's like, even then though,
even when you got the money, it's like,
it's still a lot.
Oh my gosh. But
business is just hard.
it's going to be so rewarding.
Absolutely.
Like with businesses in general, just keep up the fight. It's going to be rewarding.
I have never had more confidence in myself than when I started business. Once I started doing business and I started seeing the results of like the hard work I was putting in, it's a little different. It's even different than going viral on TikTok or something.
Right.
It hits different and you start believing in yourself on a different level. So then when somebody tells you, like, just like how them people were trying to talk to your boyfriend and say whatever, you don't even care what people say about you because you know at that point, like, no, sweetie, I know what I'm capable of.
No, literally.
Okay?
But even my businesses aren't even launched yet. If anybody tries to say anything about me at this state in my life, I will literally look at you like you have 3 heads. Because, not even being cocky, but I know I eat.
You do.
Like, this version of me, like, is fire. Like, there will never be another woman that can walk into this man's life and do what I do for him. Not one.
Period.
The old Erica, 22-year-old Erica, y'all got that. Like, y'all ate that one thing up. Okay, y'all got it. But this grown lady that I am today, like, for real, no thank you.
Yeah. I just, even just the way you're showing up for you right now, right? It's like the way I've just noticed, you know, and we even talked about it a minute ago, like the way you've been moving lately and the way you're, you know, positioning things for your career and stuff like that. It's like you are loving on yourself on a different level.
Yes.
And that is beautiful, and it radiates, and everyone can see it. And I think there are so many people that don't even do that, you know, like they do not take the time to show up for themselves.
Right.
And I don't think people realize, like, how on a deep level that really impacts your whole trajectory.
It does.
You showing up for yourself, trusting yourself, trusting in yourself, and believing in yourself. Like, all of that is so powerful.
Yes.
But it also sounds like you have great parents, and so that plays a big role in it too.
I really, really, really do.
Yeah.
My parents are so instrumental in like who I am today, why I move the way that I move.
Yeah.
My mom. And it's like, it's such an oxymoron because like for a year I was doing nothing. My mom is like literally an octopus. She's supposed to be a doctor literally next year.
Oh.
Yes. Like my mom eats at this thing we call life. Okay.
Period.
She's doing everything. 4 degrees under her belt, about to get another one next year.
Oh.
She works in human resources at a hospital. When she gets home, she takes care of her man and her kids. Like, she is that woman that I'm like, if I can only be a small percentage.
Yeah.
And she was also a entrepreneur at one point in her life as well. Like, her life isn't like in phases. Like, she tackles that. Okay, next. She has more kids. Next. She does it like she literally maps her life out that way.
Yeah.
And I just pray to be as organized as she is and
that's
as goal driven.
Yeah.
She really is that girl. Like, she really is. And I see myself in her as I get older.
Yeah.
You know?
No, and that's the thing. There's like studies that have been done, and like even just like when you become like a psychologist and stuff like that, like people talk about how your development when you're little, the biggest part or the biggest role that like your parents affirming you plays is like how you'll end up showing up for yourself as later in life. And so being that not only did they affirm you, but they even show up for themselves that way, and you just saw that all your life. That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's like, you literally are so blessed when it comes to like your family and everything. Like, that's huge.
Thank you.
Yeah.
They're doing it. And they're still doing it. My mother just turned 50. My dad just turned 50 like 2 years ago. And they're still making new goals for themselves, doing new things, still hitting new heights. And like, it's so inspiring. I'm just like, oh my gosh, like at 50, I feel like I'm going to be so lazy and just want to chill at a freaking lake house. And they are like, no, let's do this, let's do that.
Yes, because they have so much of their life left.
Yes,
you know?
yes. They're doing their thing. They are.
So if you were to talk to yourself 3 years ago, what advice would you give her? Like, as this version of yourself, what advice would you give that version of Erica?
Oh my gosh, I would be like, girl, first of all, get up. Get up, okay? You're doing nothing. But I would honestly say, don't listen to them.
Yeah.
Do not listen to them. Listen to God. Listen to God. Because while people may have been right in some of their sentiments,
Yeah.
who are you to tell me anything about myself. Like, who are you?
Yes.
Because those same people that have so much to say
Yes.
are looking at me now like, oh my gosh, Erica. Or they're not even in a space in their life where you can say nothing to me now. You know what I'm saying?
part.
You're not even fulfilled. You're not even happy.
Yeah.
So while some people may have been right, if I would have just allowed God to lead me, I probably would be even further now. I probably should say that to myself right now.
Yes.
I should have just listened to God, listen to the man that I'm actually with. What does he want from out of me? Hello? Like, can we listen to him? What does he want?
Yeah.
And listen to yourself. Trust your instincts. You've gotten yourself this far, you know?
Exactly.
So that's all I would say. Nothing really super deep, but just listen to God. Let him lead you.
Yes.
Let him lead you.
Absolutely. Every time that I have thought about the opinions of others, it has always hurt me.
Yes. Yes.
Always. And because it can be so consuming, you know, especially like when you either like you said, it's someone that's important or seems like they're important, you know, an important factor in your life, or it's like when you become hyper visible and everyone has an opinion on you.
Right.
And it's like, at the end of the day, this don't even matter.
It doesn't.
It's about me and the Lord.
Yeah.
What's going on between us? What does he have to say about it?
Right.
Yeah.
How does he feel about me? Does he think I'm a good person? Does he think that I'm a good partner for my man? Like, does he think I'm going to be a good wife? Like, I'm more concerned about how God views me as a human being. Those other people, you can kick rocks with open toe shoes on.
Ooh.
Okay. I'm so passionate about it because the younger version of me was so consumed. And I was talking down on myself so bad.
Yeah.
Because of these people. Like, I'm just like,
and it's like,
maybe
who are you?
Who exactly are you? Like, who are you? Seriously. So I feel so bad for my younger self because I listened and I consumed it and I dreamed about it and I cried about it. Like, it was just consuming it was consuming me. Like, it really was.
Because I think even when a person has accomplished a lot, that doesn't still, like, them accomplishing things, that still doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't.
It doesn't make them any better than you. That doesn't make them any more like any smarter than you or anything.
It does not. I have met the most successful people and they are still empty, unhappy, unfulfilled.
Yep.
My boyfriend always says, anybody that think money makes you happiness, brings you happiness, you haven't made enough.
Ooh. No, facts.
You haven't made enough.
Facts.
If you've seen a certain amount of money,
yes, and that
you're
makes
like,
you happy.
okay, what else? Like, honestly, if you make a
yeah.
certain amount of money, you're like, what else? What else can I do? What else is new? I need a hobby. I need this. Like, my boyfriend at this point in his life, he's like, babe, let's go golfing. Let's do this. Like,
yes.
Because money is not it. Like, it really is not.
Right.
It's not.
Money, I'll say this, because I know people always say money makes you more of who you are, right? But I think more than anything, money reveals who you are. Because for me, when I got more money, it was like all of a sudden, like, the things that I worried about constantly, yes, they went away. But then it made it clear, like, oh, Donnie, you're not like you don't have much depth.
Oh my gosh.
You don't have, like, there were just different things, like other areas that I really needed to develop in.
Yes.
And because the money situation was off the table now and I wasn't struggling in that area, I could see it clearer, right?
Yes, so true.
And so like you said, it's like, does it make you happy? By any means, but if you are somebody that is, you know, fulfilled and you're very self-aware and you know who you are, you know what you like to do, you actually have hobbies.
Right.
Girls, get you some hobbies.
People that love you around you.
Right. So then the money helps you be able to have more ability to spend time with those people or do the things that make you like, you know, make you happy and all that stuff. But yeah, I think that is the key, is understanding, like, money is a tool and not the end all be all.
It's not.
It's not at all.
It is not.
Now, I do have to ask this because, of course, you know, we've talked about your journey of, like, evolving. Do you feel like because your social media has become centered around you having this man, this wonderful man, absolutely. But do you feel like that has hindered you from showcasing all of this that we just got to? Oh, okay.
I don't. I'm a marketing girl. I went to school for
Period.
psychology and communications.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you get
so
the game.
I get how this goes.
Yeah.
Okay. I knew that day in the life of a stay-at-home girlfriend, I knew that was gonna get the wheels turning, get the girls here. Mm-hmm. But why are the girls staying? The girls are not staying because I got a new Louis Vuitton bag. That stuff is cute.
Yeah.
But they're staying because of the personality. They're staying because of who I am, the conversation that I have with the girls.
Period.
The advice I provide the girls. Mm-hmm. So it hasn't hindered me at all. I've gotten an amazing amount of opportunities. And yes, a lot of the conversation has been centered around my man, but guess what? I love my man. I could talk about him all day. So it's not like I'm true to myself. Yes. I don't feel like that's me stepping outside of who I am because the conversation is about my man.
Yeah.
I love to talk about that man. If all of your questions was about that man, girl, I would have been sitting here kicking, cackling just as much as I'm doing now. I love that man, okay? We can talk about him all day, but I know that there's so much more to me.
Yeah.
And I'm able to showcase that every day. Of course, the girls ask questions about this, ask questions about that. Oh, how did you feel when you first moved in and this and that? But I love to provide that type of advice as well.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we can all say, I don't need no man. But everybody wants somebody. Like,
right.
Come on. Like, the girls want somebody. So if I can offer even that advice, I feel good about that. I feel good about showing people a beautiful Black relationship. I feel good about it. So I don't feel any way about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, I do have to ask this to every person that comes on the show. Uh-huh. What does it mean to you to be a wealthy woman?
Oh, that is such a good question. For me to be a wealthy woman, it just means to love every part of who I am. Like we said, it has nothing to do with money. Mm-hmm. It has nothing for me to do with money. Any other girl might be like, yeah, I want this. For me, because I've been at my peak. I've been down here. I've had, a great amount of money and I've had nothing. And both of those women, like both of these two women had something to work on. So I don't think that it brings me any value.
Yeah.
But me being fulfilled in who I am, how I walk into a room, how I speak to people, education. I love an educated woman. Like, that makes me so happy. Family. I want to be a wife. I want to be a mom.
Oh,
I want to be a wife and a mom. Like,
I love that.
That's a wealthy woman to me. Having a family, traveling with your family.
Yeah.
So right now, I would say like my mom is a wealthy woman.
Oh.
Like, you have your family.
No one said that.
Man.
No one has come on the show and said that.
Really?
And I've had a lot of guests. Yeah.
You have your family, your man, and not just her immediate family. Like, she has both of her parents. My grandparents have been married for 60 years.
Wow.
She has 15 siblings. Yes. Wow. So I view family, love, relationship, not even just romantic, platonic relationship. That's being a wealthy woman to me, having all of those things. So, yeah.
And I completely agree. As I have been on my healing journey, that's one of the biggest things that I feel like I've acquired is that I value people so much more. Like, people really are important to me. And it's not a thing of like, about what people can do for me or anything like that. I just know that at the end of the day, none of this matters.
Yeah.
But then people.
Yes. Who you're doing it with. Who you're doing it with.
Yeah.
I used to always say, like, before we moved to our high-rise apartment that we have now, we were viewing apartments. And I'm like, babe, I can live in a cardboard box with you. Like, and I was so because I'm just like, I don't need this. Like, and I'm not even trying to be like a pick me, like, I don't like nice things. No, I love nice things.
Yeah.
But that didn't really matter to me. Like, I'm like, babe, you're about to spend all this money on this. Like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, we can live in a cardboard box. Because it's
glad
really
he didn't
not.
let you live in a cardboard box, because I would never say that to that man.
I know. My therapist said that. She was like, stop bringing yourself to that place.
Right.
Because you're not there.
Box? Where did that
come
from?
That's literally what she said. She said, you're not there.
Right.
But I really just wanted him to understand that you don't have to do that for me to be here, you know?
Yeah.
He just like nice stuff, so he was going to do it regardless.
Right. He was like, you can live in that box, but I'm not.
Right. But it really doesn't matter what I have. It's who I'm doing it with. That's the point. It's who I'm in it with. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. This was so good. I'm very, like, this was such a good conversation.
It really was.
So I'm sure the girls know who you are, but if they haven't seen you before, how can they stay up to date with you and keep up with all of these things that you're launching? Let the girls know.
You can follow me on TikTok and Instagram at official Erica M. Yeah, that's it. I don't have any other platforms. I need to be more serious on YouTube, okay? So if you do follow me on TikTok and Instagram, DM me right now and say, girl, post on YouTube. Hold me accountable, okay? Say, girl, post today on YouTube.
Yes.
I need to start. But I love your platform.
Thank you.
This has been amazing. I can sit here for more hours
and
just talk.
Thank you.
I love it here.
That's what I wanted. That really the show, I don't think I ever tell them this. I always say, it's a space for, holistic wealth.
Right.
But really, what I've learned about the audience is that these are women that are becoming.
Yes.
And so at the end of the day, all they need to hear is about a woman becoming whatever it is that they hope to be and seeing that it's possible for them, and also creating that safe space for you to tell both sides of it.
Yes.
And not just be like, oh, my life is perfect, you know? So I love that you felt safe.
I love it here.
Oh, Truffle wants to be in it.
Right. Come here, babe.
Come say bye-bye to everyone.
Say bye. Thanks for watching.